Hi, everyone. My name is Jerry Wise. I work with a lot of adult children of narcissists or adult children of dysfunctional families. And I want to share with you 7 things you can't count on narcissistic parents to do. There are several reasons why I want to share these. So many times, adult children of narcissists will blame themselves for how difficult the relationship is between them and their narcissistic parent. They also will wonder why they don't have more compassion for their parent, or will wonder so much why their parent doesn't have compassion for them, and they get stuck in those wonderings. And I think a part of healing and recovery is to detach from those wonderings. And that's part of what I try to provide in my online program that I've listed below. And that program does include a 12-month program in which I work with you in a group setting each month. So you might check that out. So what's the first thing that we can't count on narcissistic parents to do? To have doubts and regrets. Narcissistic parents don't have doubts and don't have regrets. They're right, and they've never done anything wrong. So what have they to doubt about, and what have they to even worry about doubting, and what have they have to regret? They don't have the kind of regrets that you and I might have, or even the doubts that you and I might have. I think doubts is a part of a healthy mind and a healthy heart. I didn't say doubting everything, and I don't doubt that the sun will probably come up tomorrow. But if you have no doubts and no regrets, I'm not sure that's a healthy mindset or psychological set. Even if I believe in faith, even if I believe in a religious belief, I still think there's a place for us to struggle with those things. The narcissistic parent doesn't struggle with those. Number 2, to do good when nobody's watching. A healthy person, a recovering person, can do good with no one watching. A narcissist cannot do that. Now, they may do it in a private way, but they're hoping someone will see it eventually and attribute that to them. So they don't just do good when they cannot be credited for it in some direct or indirect way. You and I might do that. We might do something good. Like we might stop by and help someone who's got a flat tire. I might see someone who's struggling, or maybe a woman with 2 kids and it's cold out or rainy. Hey, can I give you a ride? You can sit in the back. You can, here's my driver's license. If I can help you, this is inclement weather, let me help you with that. But I don't need to tell everybody about that. I don't need to put it on Facebook. I don't need to, now I may be telling you about it right now, but that's way after the fact. And I'm not looking for praise or appreciation. I can do good when no one's watching. And I believe a narcissist cannot. They have to be a center of attention. They have to have an audience. They don't just do good because. They do good because something. And so we find that's one of the things you can't count on them to do. Number 3, we can't count on the narcissistic parent to react in a situational, appropriate way. If something is serious or difficult, they may react in a nonplussed way. In serious situations, when nothing's really happening and it's no big deal, they may react to a 10 on a 10 scale and become overly reactive. We can't count on them to be situationally appropriate or emotionally, mentally, or behave well or appropriate to the situation. Can't count on them for that. All you can count on is that they won't. And even if they do, I often get very suspect at that point. If they do react in a situational appropriate way, because I'm going, what game might they be playing? Because many times they are playing a game. And they will be charming at times and seemingly very situationally appropriate. But they're trying to do something. It's Machiavellian in some way. Number 4, to leave room for your feelings, thoughts, or ideas, or beliefs. The narcissist is not really interested in your feelings, your thoughts, or your ideas, or your beliefs. That's not something that they are able to do or able to do well. They might patronize you a little bit. That can happen. I've seen narcissists be patronizing. But usually it's not for the connect's sake. It's not just because they're warm or they're caring, because the narcissist is bigger than life and they take up the whole room, and there's not much room for the rest of us mortals. Number 5, you cannot count on a narcissistic parent to comfort you when you are mistreated by others. Often, what do you hear when you might complain about being mistreated by others? The narcissistic parent will say, they had it a lot worse than that. Even spouses that I've worked with recently, one husband said, hey, my brother bullied me and was even physically abusive to me. And the wife goes, yeah, but, I had it a lot worse than that. My father tried to kill me, and my mother didn't want me, and she made that very clear to me. While I understand that may be more severe than what the husband had gone through, but a narcissist will use their own lens to see your trauma and your problems. A caring, mature adult person will see your problems apart from themselves and be able to be of comfort or nurturing. You go, oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible. I'm sure that was very difficult growing up with your brother, bullying you or physically abusive. Because I'm separate from you. The narcissist is enmeshed. And so they only see your pain, your difficulties through their difficulties, pain, what they've been through. They can't see you as a separate person. And so that's why they go, well, I had it worse than that. I'm going, well, I didn't say you didn't have it worse than that. I was only talking about Jerry. I wasn't talking about your experience and your pain. But that gets all enmeshed for a narcissistic parent. So we can't count on them to comfort us when we have been mistreated. Number 6, you cannot count on narcissistic parents to avoid constant manipulation, humiliation, and devaluation. You can't count on them to avoid those things. Just when you think it might be a situation where they're not going to be like that, maybe it's in public, maybe it's at an event, and boom, they'll come out with some humiliating or devaluating comments or looks or whisperings, or they will just come out with that kind of devaluation. And also it can be rather subtle. And I remember I just had a situation. The family member said to someone, oh, this is your new apartment. Oh, you actually have it put together. They could have said, it looks so nice, you've got it put together. But they used the word actually, which means I'm shaming you about the past. Because in the past, you may not have been actually had it together, and I've thought you haven't. And so I'm going to share this humiliating statement with you. And there are many ways those subtle kinds of shaming statements can happen. And we generally know those as being double-edged. And oftentimes I'll say, well, I'm not sure which part of that to respond to, sis. The compliment or the criticism or the shaming. I'm not sure which one to respond to. Because on the one hand, you're saying this looks great. On the other hand, you're saying, finally, it looks great. You actually have this done. Finally. And it's like, wait a minute. You're not my parent. You don't direct what I have to have together or not together. But a narcissist or a narcissist family member, you can't count on them to avoid those things. They must do them. Manipulation, humiliation, devaluation. Number 7, you can't count on the narcissistic parent to celebrate your successes and your high points, the high points of your life or high points or your joy with you, unless they can eclipse the spotlight in some way. In other words, I'm so glad I had a son who could do this. I'm so glad I had a daughter who was able to achieve this. And it's almost like they achieved this. The daughter graduates from law school or graduates from medical school or gets some award or some sports award. And I'm so glad that I had a daughter and all of my support helped her be here. They cannot celebrate your successes without being enmeshed with them and making them their own or absconding with them emotionally. They abscond. They take it from you and put the medal on themselves. And so you can't count on them to just celebrate and let you enjoy your moments. Either your downsides or your good sides, they can't let you just have them. They have to interact with them through their lens and their pathology. They have to interact in that way. Hey, I've got an online program that will help you to heal in these ways that I've been talking about and to recover from being an adult child of a dysfunctional family. And I talk about many things that will help you do that. Certainly, again, I've added on there a monthly group session for everyone who joins the program that's listed below. I hope you will join. And I want to thank you very much for listening and watching today. I hope you have a great day and be wise.